Welcome into Bombers Breakdown presented by Tompkins Trust Company. It is episode 3. We've done a little bit of reshuffling here, but we are happy to welcome in the head coach of the women's track and field team here at Ithaca College, head coach Jennifer Potter. Coach, thank you so much for joining us here for episode 3. Really excited to have you.
Thanks for having me. This is super fun.
So, Coach, we've got some tough questions here for you today. I think it's going to be pretty challenging. No, not at all. I think we should have some fun here with some of our questions. But first, I want to talk about you and your role here at Ithaca. You have an amazing record, I believe, from my research, 55 All-Americans coached, over 40 records in total from players that you've coached. And you were an All-American sprinter yourself, I believe, here at Ithaca. But enough of me talking about you. How about you tell us a little bit about your journey to where you are now?
It's an interesting one. When I ran here as a student athlete, Coach Nichols, who's the men's coach, was my coach. And I always kind of wanted to be a coach. I had a really neat PE teacher and coach in middle school that I thought she was really fun. So I kind of wanted to emulate her. So then coming here and being a physical education major, I had most of all the coaches on campus for a class because we took every sport. So seeing all these amazing coaches here at IC made me even more want to be a coach, and then eventually come back here to coach. So when I graduated, I went to Marshall University. I had a graduate assistant position there, coaching track and field and getting my master's in sports administration. When I graduated from there, I got my first head coaching job at Hartwick College in Oneonta, and I was there for 4 years and had some really great success. I had a national champion high jumper who for a long time had the national record. And from there, I became a distance coach at Central Michigan University in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. And that was a kind of a twist in my, I was being a sprinter hurdler, but I had some success in the distance area. So I was hired for that. I spent a little less than a year there because the job opened at Cortland, and I'm not supposed to talk about that. I wanted to be back closer to home and my family, and wanted to see how the other half lived a little bit. So took the job at Cortland, and then and I kind of skipped a big part. When I was at Hartwick, I'd been there about a year. The job opened up here at Ithaca, and I interviewed for the job and was offered the job, and I turned it down. And everyone was shocked. Mr. Deming, who was the athletic director at the time, he was my AD when I was here, was like, "What are you doing?" And honestly, I didn't think I was ready to be the head coach at Ithaca. I was 25, 26 years old, and I'd only been a head coach for a year. And I was just worried that I wasn't good enough, even though they thought I was good enough. So, and then a couple of years later, when I was leaving to go to Central Michigan, the person that took the job when I turned it down was leaving as well. And they called me back and said, "Jen, she's leaving to go to Michigan State. Would you be interested?" And I was like, "Well, I just took a job at Central Michigan. We were both going to Michigan," which was really funny. So I figured after that, there was no chance of me ever being able to come back. But in 2003, the head coach that was here left for another position, and Coach Nichols called me up and said, "You're not going to believe this, but the job's open again." And I was like, "All right, this is it. I'm ready." I'd been some fun places and had a good experience. So yeah, I got the job in 2003 and came back here in January of 2004, mid-year, which was a little interesting. But yeah, it worked out all perfect, and here I am, and I hope I never have to leave. That's kind of the goal.
That's an awesome return story. And it sounds like coaching was always kind of on your radar, but I'm curious, if you weren't a coach, what do you think you would have been doing?
Oof. I think the two things I always think about are either travel agent, because I feel like I do all of that stuff. And I did have a minor in travel and tourism here at Ithaca, random, or professional shopper, because I'm really good at that. So maybe that.
That's awesome. I wonder how many kids are, in elementary school are like, I'm going to grow up and I'm going to be a travel agent, but it's a really cool job. I think that should be something they should teach.
I don't even think they exist anymore. I mean, orbits, right?
We need to bring them back. Definitely. Coach, I want to shift to the squad this season. They are absolutely killing it. Some records every week, it seems like, and doing really well. What has the whole process been like with this COVID kind of season, being able to make everything work? And then obviously with the great results that are coming in.
Well, so, we were at NCAA's in March of 2020, literally the night before, um, getting ready to try to win a national championship. And I was in the hotel room with the team. We had just learned there was not going to be any spectators allowed. So we were kind of going over like, doesn't change our goals. We're here to win a national championship. You know, our friends and our family and our parents can watch online, and, that, all will be good. And I will never forget, it was 3:54, March 12th, 2020, when we got the news that it was canceled. And that was the toughest thing I've ever had to tell a team. Um, and it was just, awful. Just a lot of sad faces, a lot of crying. And, you know, that was a challenging moment for all of us to move forward. And we were just so close to being there. They had made the decision to try to win a national championship in August of 2019. And they had done everything they needed to do, and they were the most ready team I'd ever seen in my career. And so then, then losing outdoors in the same kind of breath, that was just challenging again. And then, no cross country in the fall, and then of course no indoors. So we'd lost literally four, national championship opportunities at a time where we are, you know, really deep nationally. And so I think through this whole time, it was, there's going to be a championship again someday. And we just have to keep working towards that. And we just have to keep looking ahead and just, get it done. And so I think now it's like, they're just so happy to be back on campus. They're so happy to put the uniform back on. They're so happy to be out doing what they love in conjunction with their academia. So I feel like it's just exuding in their performances right now. It's still early. But we just kept saying there's going to be a meet someday, and we have to be ready for it. So as hard as it was to keep training and think positively, and we just had to be there for each other and just, keep saying there's going to be a meet, there's going to be a meet. And then, when we had the opportunity to go to an indoor meet in February or March at Nazareth. And of course, that was really strange because that was literally the last place we competed at last year and the exact same weekend. So it was pretty emotional. But just, I was so happy for them to have that opportunity, because then I was, there finally was a meet. We kept saying there was going to be a meet, and like, here it is. So I just feel like it's, it's been a long road, but we just kept, doing what we knew what to do and how to do it. And we're just so happy to be competing again. And we're so grateful for, Susan Bassett and the administration for figuring out how for us to all of our sports, spring sports, and even some of our winter and fall sports to compete right now. We're just very grateful. And it really makes you appreciate the things when they get taken away. You really do.
Coach, give me some insight onto your personal style as a coach. How do you get someone to improve a time? How do you personally coach? Are you encouraging? Do you give more of that tough love? Give us some insight there.
I am all about challenging people to do things they don't think they ever could do. That's kind of like I always see my role, whether it's in track and field or in a career or in anything that they do. I want to be that person that says, you can do that, and this is how I think you can get there. And, plan that out with them. And then they're like, oh, okay. So maybe that, oh, if I do this, this, and this can happen. And so I'm that person. And I think I'm pretty blunt, like I'll give you praise. Absolutely. But if something's not right, I'm going to tell you, because how do you get better if I don't tell you like what needs to be fixed? And, and I think, again, there's always like, hey, this was really great, but we need to work on this. And so I think that honesty with our student athletes is, it's a working, it's a two-person thing. It's not just me, it's not just them. We work together. And we have a lot of conversations. And like I said, I'll be like, this is awesome, but we need to step this up. And I think that honesty has really been, just, yeah, I'm not going to tell you, dude, you're like, that's great when it's really not that great. I mean, and don't get me wrong. Like I am the biggest cheerleader of them all out there for them when they are, accomplishing their goals. Like, that's just awesome. So I'm that person that I want to challenge, like, what do you want to do and how do we get there? Let's figure it out together. And that's that's my favorite part of coaching. And that's probably my style, my philosophy. It's all about them. I love working with student athletes, and just, again, if whether it's track or school or just anything that they want to accomplish, I want to help them get there. I want to help them figure out how to do it.
All right, so let's get into some challenging questions here. We're going to dig into that, maybe that travel agency background of yours. And so you're traveling to a desert island. You've got those 3 foods that you can only bring to said desert island. What are your 3 desert island foods?
That's tough. Seltzer.
Seltzer. Okay. All right.
Cheese of any type. And
Seltzer and cheese is an odd pairing. You need another thing to kind of break it up.
That's a tough one. I mean, cheese is I love cheese, and I drink a lot of seltzer. I mean, my favorite meal is Thanksgiving, but that's not one food. So maybe mashed potatoes.
Okay. All right. I like it. I see. For me, I can't go without peanut butter. That's my one thing.
Ooh,
like,
that's a good one too, though. I forgot about that.
I got to
That's a
keep
good
that one. But no, I like yours. Those are very diverse and interesting choices. I think that's good. So we're going to stick with the food question. So far right now, we have the debate of all debates, where we need to decide, is a hot dog a sandwich or is cereal a soup? And I know it's weird, but you've got to choose one. And right now, no pressure, but we have 2 in favor of hot dog as a sandwich and 0 in favor of cereal as soup. Full disclosure, I'm on the cereal bandwagon. Where do you stand?
So I watched, Coach Swanstrom and Coach Fahila, and Dan's got a really good point about the soup, right? Like broth and vegetables, meat, maybe. When you first asked that question to Dan, I immediately thought hot dog, bread and meat in the middle. So it's a sandwich. I don't see cereal as a soup. It just, I tried. When I heard that question, I really was trying, have I ever even looked at a bowl of cereal and thought of it as soup? And I haven't.
It's okay. I'll take the 0 for 3. I'll take the 0 for 3. I think you're certainly in the majority here. I just, I feel like people are getting hung up on the carbs aspect of things, but it's fine. It's fine. My pride is a little wounded, but we will soldier on. Coach, what's your most prized possession? I already love looking at your background and seeing that sign being awesome today. I think that's awesome in and of itself. But cool possessions, I think, always tell a lot about someone. So what is your most prized possession if you had to narrow it down to maybe one?
You have hard questions.
Only the toughest.
My prized possession. Oof. Can it be living?
Yeah, sure.
My dog.
Gotcha. What kind of dog?
A golden retriever.
Oh, of course. That's fantastic.
Yeah, she's probably my most prized possession. Yeah, I had a nightmare the other day that I sold her for $700 to one of the girls on the team. Yeah. Yeah.
Wow, only 700. Okay.
I know.
For your most prized possession?
She's priceless. I know, it was awful. I don't even know where it came from. But I just thought of something. I had a smoothie bowl for breakfast. That reminded me of soup.
So a little movement on the needle, huh? It's moving up the scale. Okay. So I don't know. I'm making some headway here.
Yeah, but cereal, I don't know. I'm stuck on this though. I'm really trying to help you out.
See, again, you don't have to come over to my side. I'm just planting the seeds. So if we start kind of classifying more things in the breakfast gazpacho area, and we've got kind of maybe those smoothie bowls, those are always good. The acai bowls, maybe. Can start shifting some things on some people's personal scales. But we're making headway. Last question for you, Coach. And again, this is just to kind of get more of an idea of your personality and everything. Everybody's got different tastes in music, movies, TV shows. So give me across the board, maybe just one from any of the categories, your favorite album, movie, or TV show. Which one comes to mind?
Any movie having to do with sports.
Gotcha. Okay.
Miracle. I I can watch those 87 times each, Love Miracle.
Field of
Uh,
Dreams fan?
oh, absolutely. Field of Dreams. What's the one, the football team where they're segregated and they come together? I can't think of the name of it. Yeah, that's my other one. Yeah, any sports movie. Absolutely.
Lots of great choices there. Well,
Yeah.
Coach, thank you.
Hoosiers.
Yeah, it's Hoosiers. Oh, of course, everybody loves Hoosiers. I can't think of anything better than that one. The Blind Side also pretty good as well.
Ooh,
So
good one. Book's really good too.
absolutely. Coach, thank you so much for your time here. We are just about done on Bombers Breakdown presented by Tompkins Trust Company. My thanks to head coach Jennifer Potter for joining us, and best of luck, Coach, with the rest of the season with the track and field team. I know they're doing fantastic, and I know they'll continue to do so. So thanks again.
Thanks so much for having me. It was great to spend some time this morning.